All right. Let's stick with basketball, but go to the NCAA. And the great Dick Vitale made some comments. I'm going to let Rob G kind of set the table, and then Rob and I will get into it.
Thanks, Chris. Well, as you guys know, the transfer portal is all the rage this college basketball.
And this started because of COVID.
Yes. Now, and it's not even just this offseason. It's been happening during the season, just before the season, like you mentioned, because of COVID. In total, right now, over 1,200 names in the men's basketball transfer portal, which is on average 3.5 players per program. So it's rampant.
And that means they can transfer and play the
immediately.
Next season.
No sitting out.
Were there transfers during the season?
You can play the following season. Yes,
right,
sorry.
Right.
It just means you can't.
But you used to have to sit out.
You used to have to sit out all year.
Sit out a year. That was the deterrent for these guys wanting to transfer.
Right. So most people believe that the freedom is a good thing. One person who does not, however, is ESPN college basketball Dick Vitale. He's a friend of the show, been on a couple times. Here's what he said on Twitter earlier on Friday. This transferring all over the place is going to destroy our game. The NCAA should think twice before officially making it that players can transfer without sitting out 1 year. The chaos, all caps chaos, going on is sickening. Again, all caps. You should only allow players to transfer without sitting out when a coach leaves, end quote.
Rob, you want to add that first?
You could start if you want. I just don't agree with Dick Vitale, but go ahead, Chris.
One thing I do agree with him on if you were to limit transferring, well, let me put it this way. This is craziness. I do agree that, if you got 3.5 players per team transferring, the continuity, it's very hard to run a basketball program. I think what he said at the end makes some sense, that you can transfer and play right away if your coach leaves the program. We know that's a big draw for the players to go to the schools they pick. But what I would say is this, college basketball, it's making it, when guys transfer like this, Rob, it makes it kind of like the pros. Because it's like everybody's a free agent and they can go wherever they want. And I get why that's not good for college basketball. But what I would say is it's been like the pros for the coaches and the administrators for decades now. And in credit to Dick Vitale, he has said players should be paid. So what I'm saying is, let's fix all of it right now. I agree with you. You can't have guys just running all over the place where they want to play, transferring left and right. But let's fix all of it. Let's get these dudes the money they deserve. Let's get them paid. Let's make it fair. And then if they're getting paid and they have something akin to a contract, then you stay where you're at unless the coach leaves and then you can go elsewhere.
No,
so I say fix it all. Don't just harp on this part when there's so much chaos going on.
See, I disagree that people should have the right to leave because maybe the coach promised you something that he didn't deliver on. Maybe things have changed and some guy who they brought to the program became a star in the position you're in and you're not playing. And maybe there's a better opportunity for you. It's about the kids and their education. And the kids who are transferring, Chris, aren't the main parts of any college program. If they're the star players or they're balling, most
they were like 40% of the players in the Final Four.
But obviously they weren't happy with where they were. And I'm just saying, what's the difference if it's about the kids' education and the kids getting an opportunity to play college basketball? Why can't it just be about the kids wanting to be happy? And if you want to transfer schools, thank you. All right, you did everything you were supposed to do here. No hard feelings, and let the kids move on. I wouldn't want to make kids stay somewhere where they don't want to be. If they don't want to be at the program, you should bring in kids who want to be there. So I think Dick Vitale's wrong. I understand he doesn't like it because it's so radical from what we had, but change is okay. There's nothing wrong with it. Let the kids find their happiness. If maybe they realize the style doesn't work, the coach, They don't like the coach's demeanor. They don't like maybe they found out during Black Lives Matter this coach really doesn't have my best interests at hand, or whatever it is, that they don't feel they're a fit there. It's traumatic to move schools. I don't think everybody's just moving just to be moving. I think people move because things don't feel right or things aren't a good fit. And if they really believe they have an opportunity to go somewhere else, show their talents, be in a place that they're comfortable, I'm not going to knock a kid for doing so. And I don't want to see it limited. Let people have freedom. Let people do what they want to do. As long as they do all the other rules that you have in college basketball, if you don't want to play at North Carolina anymore because Hubert Davis is the coach, you should have a right to say thank you. I'm just saying. After that press conference, there might be a couple guys that might not want to be there.
Nah, you know what? You make a lot of sense. There's no doubt about it. And here's the thing, and I brought up continuity. Continuity is gone in college basketball.
Right.
This isn't the only thing that is hurting college basketball. We've talked about it. I mean, guys now, a lot of the best players are playing in the G League, maybe going overseas, maybe going somewhere to work out for a year before the NBA draft. So there are a lot of things working against college basketball as we once knew it. But I agree with you. That's a good point, because one of the things that has made college basketball less popular, Rob, than it used to be is when you and I were coming up, and even when we were adults early on, there was continuity. You knew year to year, Michigan State's got so-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so coming back. This group's going to be juniors now. They're going to be tough. There's no more of that. The best players are gone after a year. So there's already tremendous turnover. So that makes some sense. You made a good point. I'll give you that. That's hard to argue with, I think. I do still think, though, they should be fixing all of this stuff.
No, I hear your point. I'm just saying, let the kids, as long as if they want to play, Chris, things change. You play college basketball. Even on your scale, you had to say, no, you were Division III.
Even on my scale.
Well, I'm Division III. I'm just saying.
I was a baller, man.
All right, okay, all right. I'm just saying. But, did anything change from the time you were there with the coach?
Yeah, we had a second. Our coach, the coach that recruited me, left.
That's what I'm saying.
After his sophomore year, he retired.
And then did it change? Did it change how you were perceived by the new coach and your playing time? Did it go down? Do you know what I'm saying? It changed.
Yeah, no, it didn't. But, yeah, I hear you. Believe it or not, Rob, I was actually on the committee that helped pick the new coach.
Really?
Yes. We had a few players and some other administrators. We interviewed the coaches, and then we were able to make a strong recommendation. And but
the
still,
guy you recommended, did he get the job?
He got it. Yeah. He got it. Did it good. He was good. He was young, but he was good.
Did he give you any run?
Did he run?
No, give you any run. Did you
I started. I was a starter, yeah. So, he was a good coach. But, yeah, so I hear you. Things like that happen. So that's fair, because coaches, the bottom line is coaches can leave whenever they want, and it is the players have been stuck. Yep. And you notice, Rob, the thing that draws players typically to a school, there are a few other factors, but it's the coach. That might be the main thing, right? If you don't hit it off with the guy, you're not. That's why Larry Bird left Indiana. He didn't like Bobby Knight.
Exactly. A great player like that, he couldn't do it. He was like, I'm sorry. Larry Bird was supposed to play in Indiana. Yep. He couldn't do it. He went to Indiana State.
He left after a couple months, if I'm not.
Yes, he was like, this guy's not for me.
Right.
And that Bobby Knight should have been chastised for that he wasn't able to be able to work with one of the greatest players who ever played, coming from the state of Indiana, Chris. Like seriously, that was an indictment of Bobby Knight, for real. That he couldn't work with Larry Bird, who wound up being one of the all-time greats, from Indiana, white guy, all the other stuff that you would want. You know what I mean? Like that's your guy. What do you mean?
No, there's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. You got to make that work. Right. You got to make that work with Larry Bird. But Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, college basketball, you and I have talked about it before. I mean, we think look, March Madness is always going to be March Madness. I don't care who you could have thrown me and my D3 colleagues out there and people would be into it. Just because it is what it is, the one and done format, the betting that goes on is darn near a national holiday on that first Thursday and Friday now. It is what it's huge.
What is it not to like, Chris?
Right.
There's drama. If you lose, you're out. I mean, stop right there. What?
It's just the rest of the season, right? That's the problem. And so this is just one of the issues they've got to deal with, and I think several of them are a lot more weighty and a lot more problematic for college basketball than the transfer portal, because the continuity that Vitale wants, it's gone. It's gone.
Right.
It ain't there no more, period. So let the kids do their thing and you fix the game.
All right, let's start with Telly in D.C. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Telly?
Hey, how you doing, fellas? Hey, it's a pleasure and an honor, man, to be on your show, man. Thanks for taking my call.
No, thank you, buddy.
Hey, look, listen here. I had sent you a tweet. I wasn't sure whether you was going to get it or not, so I just decided to call in and talk to you about it. Look, I believe a college athlete should only be able to transfer without sitting out after their sophomore year. I mean, by that time you give colleges enough time to prove whether they came through on some of their commitments or not when they was recruiting you, right? It also gives you about that same age, 20, 21, where now at that age, you should be able to make, decisions for your life, where you get educated from, where you play basketball at. At that age, you should be having free will to make those type of decisions. And it also, look, the college football allows you to go pro after your junior year, so why shouldn't college basketball allow you a lot of freedom after a certain year as well? And I think it should be after your sophomore year.
Here's the thing, Rob, like I said, Rob brought up some good points. What's the problem with if they transfer as a sophomore?
Right.
I mean, I don't think you just don't want a situation where guys are leaving all the time. It can be tough. You got to fill out a roster. But, if that kid's trying to go pro and he's a second stringer somewhere, I mean, give him a chance to go somewhere. If they want him, right? If they're going to give him a scholarship.
They're going to give him a scholarship and he's going to be a starter.
Right.
Is it fair? It's not fair to the kid. It's just not.
Right.
Mark in Sacramento, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Mark?
Hey, guys. How you guys doing this Friday?
Good, man. How are you?
What's going on, gentlemen?
There we go.
hey, real quick. I don't agree with Dick Vitale. I'm on the side of letting them leave, and I'll tell you why. I think what happened was it happened a couple weeks ago. Remember, a couple weeks ago, the NCAA case was heard in the Supreme Court. As a matter of fact, they released audio, which they very rarely do. And you can hear, actually, Sotomayor Roberts talk about this. And I think this issue was part of that brought up. This was all brought up because here we are 2 weeks later after that, and the NCAA is now saying, well, I guess we got to kind of let them leave if they want to, too.
Right.
They got pressured by the Supreme Court on all of this stuff. Remember, that was 2 weeks ago. That case was heard 2 weeks ago. The likeness case, I think all of this was brought up in the Supreme Court because now they make a decision to let them go. The NCAA don't want to do this. They don't. They don't want these kids just go. Nah.
They would rather, but
they were pressured.
Yep, and Mark, they always had control over the kids. Those days are over. You can already see it. Those days are over.
They're gone. Yeah, they're gone. You guys have a good weekend.
You too.
Yep, you too.
Canella in Denver. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio.
What's up, fellas? What's going on? So here's my take, man.
What up?
What's going on? I don't think that the portal's going to mess up anything. I'm with these kids trying to go to the best program that's going to fit their needs. If one program isn't doing it for them, I'm with it because, they're trying to maximize their talents and obviously trying to get paid out at the end and try to get to the league. But my thing is I think it should be a 2-year deal if you decide to take the college basketball route. The G League's not going anywhere. Overseas is not going anywhere. But if you make it a 2-year thing, they got to give them a stipend and also give some players the like image and likeness aspect of it. They'll also bring
well,
back a
all
little bit of
players
rivalry.
should have that right.
Hey, hold on to Canelo. Don't hang up on him. Don't hang up on him.
Image and likeness. If
Correct.
all players aren't going to benefit from it, but it should be open to all players.
Yeah, it's open to all players, but there's only so many Zion Williams and Kyrie Irvings that Nike is only going to be some of them. But it's open to all. My last point here is the NBA is pretty much built off potential. If you look at the kid here in Denver, Marco Porter Jr., he was a lottery pick, and he only played 3 games. But there's also so many busts off the one-and-done deal. Like, you have one good season, you go to the NBA, and now you're a bust. So if you do the 2-year gig, it gives the NBA teams a little bit more time to reevaluate things.
You're saying they should have to stay 2 years if they go to college.
But they got to give them a stipend because of, the G League route and overseas route. So you got to be competitive.
Well, once they start paying. But Canelo, are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Chris, when the All-Star game was moved to Denver, who hit me up right away? Canelo, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And he's buying me. He's buying me wings when I get there. That's all. We're having wings when I get to Denver.
Oh, I'm paying now? Oh,
yeah,
man.
you paying. What do you mean are you paying now?
Do you know him?
No. He just listens to the show. I'm just saying.
Okay.
All right, man.
Brother,
Thank you.
I'll see you soon. Have a good weekend.
Yep. I'm just saying. He was like, we got to have wings.
You're going to the All-Star game.
Yeah, I changed my tickets and everything. I was going to Atlanta, so now I'm going to go to Denver.